What is it? Who is it? I think, are we streaming right now?
What?
Are we low-key streaming right now? I think we are.
Do you want me to check? Yanovich, let's see, biggest thug.
Am I echoing?
No.
I don't care, I'm gonna make sure.
Son, I don't think you're streaming.
What?
I don't think you're streaming.
I'm not?
I don't see anything.
Alright. Let's see here. Create. Go live.
Was that AI or using DeepSeek?
What the frick are you talking about, bro Chacho? No, I'm live.
What? I can't see it.
Try refreshing.
Okay, boss.
It says I'm live.
Oh yeah,
as we
no,
speak.
it wasn't there when I went originally, but now it is.
Yeah, there. Alright, we are live, everybody! Heck yes, man! Heck
Holy
yes.
moly. This thing is so delayed.
What is?
This stream.
Well, yeah, it's because you're on the you're on the thing, dude. It's because you're on, the call, so it's gonna feel like it's delayed, but like,
I know.
we're not.
Ooh, this is so weird.
We're not supposed to be
So
watching.
weird.
Don't be strange, man. The whole
weird.
world is gonna see this, man. My parents are gonna watch this.
Your parents are not gonna watch this.
They are, dude. They actually said that they would stream in, that they would tune in.
And yeah, they're gonna come into your room in the middle of the debate and freaking take away all your electronics and send you to a labor camp.
Oh, shut up, dude. Stop laughing like a little freakazoid, man. Jeez. Would you just knock it off already, man? Gosh.
My fault.
Goodness, man. Goodness. Let's move that over there.
Wow, this thing is like a minute delayed. Isn't that crazy?
What?
Hold on, let me.
Yeah.
Hey, just a heads up. I think you need to turn your mic up because I'm listening to the playback and it's hard to hear you.
Okay. He said that I was too hard to hear.
Yeah,
I
Let me
don't
check
know
on
how to
this.
turn my mic
Let me-
volume
let me-
up. I had that issue last time, too.
Here, go to. Which one is your mic?
It's Toner TC30. It's good on OBS, it says. But,
I can hear you fine through here, so it might be something with YouTube.
let me go to handydandygoogle.com.
Why is Nick Fuentes there?
How to make my mic louder on a YouTube stream. Increase the mic aux input slider in the mixer. Set Windows microphone level to 100% and add a gain filter. A gain filter? Filters. There's no filters here. Wait. Oh, gain. The name of the filter? Gain is good. 30 decibels? That might be too much. Let's try 15 for now. Okay. Hopefully I'm a little easier to hear now.
Let me check. Oh!
What?
Oh.
What?
When you set it to 30 for a second, it went like really, really loud.
Okay, is it good now though?
Oh, I need to turn my fan off. Hold on.
Tell me if it's good!
Hold on!
I need to know, man, I need to know! So unreliable, man, I can't stand this kid. Goodness.
You're not even saying anything.
I can't stand this kid, dude, I cannot stand this kid. There's 2 people watching the debate right now.
Fan off. Hold on.
Tell me if it's good! And you don't even know that.
Yeah, I think it's good now.
Fantastic. Okay, looking good, man. I got the chat here. Nobody's in the chat right now.
Me, how do I...
Can you see my screen on the call, by the way?
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's what I was hoping for, big dog. This is the most ambitious stream that I've ever done in my life. Truly incredible.
Exact same as the last one.
No, it's not the exact same, actually. I'm trying to make it better. Okay? Do you
Alright,
mind? Can't you just be respectful sometimes, man? Jeez. Do you mind? Gosh.
I can't tell if it's echoing or it's just being weird.
It shouldn't be echoing for me, because like, I have my headphones in. So.
Big King 7325 is in the chat.
Yo, Big King, my boy! How are we doing today, Big King? Let me hear it.
Isn't that the guy who asked if you were single?
I have no idea. I can't remember. I can't recall.
Fairly certain it is.
It was very strange. That one was very strange, wasn't it? Okay. This is great, man. This is great. I'm loving this.
Yeah,
we have to sit here until 12:30 because
I know.
the Cline he's running a little bit late, so we have to sit here and do nothing for about 40 minutes. About 40 minutes. It's okay.
I feel like you should have delayed the start to live. Are you gonna make a thumbnail for this one like you made one for the great debate?
Yeah, I'll make one. What do you think I should do it?
You should use the Cline family Christmas.
Ooh, the Cline family Christmas. Do you have that picture?
Yeah,
I
I can
don't.
put it up. I need to find it. Give me one.
Look at how adorable this mug is. It says snuggle season.
That's so awesome, man.
Thank you. I really F with this mug. And this coffee. This is good coffee. Oh, Big King in the chat again. He said, I think that was another guy. Oh, okay. He wasn't the guy that asked if I
I'm
was single.
100%. I'm 100% certain it is.
Yo, Bennett Hansen in the chat. Where is James Cline? He's running late. James Cline isn't going to be here until 12:30, I'm afraid. Sorry about that, everybody. So if you guys want to leave, come back at 12:30. That's all right. We just wanted to get in here, you know. Make sure that everybody can get in here and have enough time, you know, so we can really get this stuff started and get it rolling. It's good stuff, man.
Freak was that?
What?
I can't find the Cline family Christmas.
Are you kidding me, dude? You can't find the Cline family Christmas?
I know it's somewhere in here.
Well, I have to add this special little surprise. Can't forget it. I see the crystal raindrops fall, and the beauty of it all, when the sun comes shining through. Oh shoot.
Why did you just start playing?
Oh shoot.
Is that gonna be the first question you ask?
I can't reveal my secrets, I'm afraid.
I'm pretty sure you already told me it is, so.
What are you talking about? You're not some kind of insider. By the way, everybody, to the 3 people watching right now, this guy right here, this Chase Goodall fellow, he is going to be our moderator for this debate. That's right, we have a moderator this time. Oh, Nolan Kane is going to be joining shortly, according to Ben Hansen. That's wonderful. That's what I love to hear, actually. Okay, let's see.
Where's the Cline family Christmas, man? I cannot find this thing.
I hope I've done an appropriate amount of research for this whole thing. He never asked me to, add anything, like any pictures or anything like that. I don't know why, but he never did. I guess he doesn't want anything. Whatever, I suppose. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Pork.
I didn't know that they could hear that. They can hear the video. I didn't even realize. Oopsie. You guys weren't supposed to hear that yet. That's gonna be. Okay, I'll let you guys in on the scoop. This is gonna be our first question. That one right there. Oh, Cline is ready to join the Google Meet. Everybody, everybody, brace for frickin' impact, yo. Brace for frickin' impact. The Cline is about to hit the tower. Don't quote me on that. That was kind of messed up of me to say. Let's see. Copy that and paste that. Yes, that's it. Okay. Thank you for the picture, Big Chase.
I got you, son.
Oh, Cline! He's here! He's here! Everybody! Everybody! Be on your best behavior. The Cline? The Cline! He's here! He's here! Oh my goodness, everybody, he's here. Wow.
Well, I'm trying to get my sound right. I can't hear you.
No worries, big man. No
Oh, there we
worries.
go. Let's see. Oh, I can hear you. Why do you have the freaking video up, bro?
Oh, shoot! Wait, what? I didn't know you could see that.
Yeah. Yeah, we can see that.
Alright, no worries. Hold on. Oh, wait, no, only you can see that. They can't, though. The people.
Oh.
The people of this glorious live stream cannot see it.
My favorite video is the thank you video because he didn't know that the fan was in the background.
Oh yeah, that's very true. They don't even know what you're talking about if they aren't dialed in for real.
Oh yeah, everybody got to go to Nolan Kane FFP on TikTok. Nolan Kane FFP. Hold up, can I drop it in the chat?
If you want, yeah.
How do I even do that? I don't know how to do that. So I'm not I gotta go to YouTube and do it. Nolan, can you stop beating off in the freaking video?
Okay, can we just keep this family friendly, please? Goodness gracious, people.
That Nolan Kane is the most family friendly person I know.
No, he's not. Don't be ridiculous, dude.
Nolan. Can I freaking
Let's get this thing captured. Okay.
Nolan, stop doing the Hitler salute. Roar.
Man, you people. Goodness.
Rookie OTAs? Ooh, I gotta do that.
Alrighty.
What up?
We have the slideshow up.
It's not. Oh, it's Arch Manning.
Did you not want to add anything to the slideshow, Mr. Cline?
No, I'm good, man.
Alright. Well, suit yourself, I suppose. This is incredible, man. I got both of our cameras up on the opposite sides of the screen. This is so, like, official right now.
Awesome.
Alright, let's actually send out a quick Instagram.
Nolan Kane. Oh yeah, Nolan Kane is going to playing Madden in the background.
Alright, Arch Manning. Do what you do.
Jesus.
Oh, run with H-hand here.
I think I have to go at 2:30. Is that gonna work?
Yeah, let's get rolling then. Hold on. You know what? I don't need the Instagram. It's fine. I'm not gonna worry about it. We've got 4 people watching right now. This is pretty crazy, guys.
Yo, who's watching?
I don't know how to see who's watching. I'm not very good at this.
Oh.
Oh shoot. There we go. Okay, well, I think we're ready to get started. Chase, are you there?
Yep.
Chase is here, everybody. Can everybody hear Chase? Yeah? I assume so. I can't see the chat right now. So,
What's up, Chase?
what?
I said, what's up, Chase?
Hi, James.
Yo!
No one asked if you were wearing a mask right now, Chase.
I hate you.
Yo, can we make sure that Nolan is in the frame for this first question?
Yeah, Nolan, pull up.
By the way, you said you have until 2:30, right?
Yeah.
That means you have like 25 minutes per question.
Perfect.
We're good. We're good. We're good on that, man. We got
How
that.
many-
Lunch.
Wait,
We gotta eat lunch
we have
too.
3 questions, isn't that?
We
Yes,
probably gotta eat
25 minutes
lunch
per
too.
question. Yeah. Okay,
We have
got it.
six. We have 6 total. 3 each.
No, we have 2 hours because we gotta eat lunch too.
Oh, okay. Guess I have 2 hours now.
Okay. Let's hurry up. Let's hurry up. Okay. First question. We gotta start this off. Lighthearted and goofy and silly. So. The first question, I'm gonna play the video in its entirety so everybody gets the full context.
Oh, bro, my God.
It's a video.
Okay.
Louder!
No, great.
Louder! Louder!
I love that video.
Bark! Good boy.
Okay, so for those of you who aren't dialed in, I want to make sure to emphasize this is Nolan Kane. This is the guy from the last debate. He is pictured top right of your screen.
Yep.
And this is
Bro.
this is James Cline. So this is James Cline. I just want to ask.
No.
Excuse me?
James said the B word. I said keep it family friendly.
Yeah, keep it family friendly, dude.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So why are you getting so into it? Like you really got into it.
It was personal, bro. It was personal, you know.
Was the louder? Was that necessary?
Yeah, we had to. So there's a video online on TikTok that we had to
Can
copy
we
it
start
off
the
of.
debate? This is not important to the actual
No,
debate.
it's actually very important. No, there was like a video online, and the guy like tells him to be louder and louder, and then tell him to bark and all that stuff, and we have to just copy the video. So there's like I think 16 of them.
Okay,
All
well,
you guys should check out Nolan Kane FFP. I think I put it in the chat. It's for his TikTok account. It's all of Nolan Kane's punishments.
right, nice.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, that was my first one.
It took a what?
A blow to the back.
So that was my first question. So now I just like to get into the real questions here. Let me get them up because I have actually not gotten them up yet. Let's see here.
Nolan, what are you doing?
Okay, so Chase Goodall, would you be so kind as to flip a coin?
Yeah, call it, please.
Heads.
Of course you.
Bro.
It was heads.
All right, you asked the first question, Mr. James
All right.
Cline.
All right. Do you believe abortion is murder, and if not, why?
Okay, so I don't think that abortion is murder because fetuses aren't deemed as living until they're 5 months old. So as long as they are not aborted before then, I don't think that it should be considered murder. And this is from the University of Minnesota. It says all living organisms share 8 key characteristics or functions: order, sensitivity or response to stimuli, reproduction, growth and development, regulation, homeostasis, energy processing, adaptation, and evolution. At conception, a fetus only has these 3. Order, which is basically just like they have their own specific order of cells. Growth and development, because they're a fetus, so they're obviously still growing and developing. And energy processing, because they can take energy from the mother and process it for themselves.
Okay. So do you know when heartbeat begins for a fetus? A fetus is another word. We can also use the term human because it is a human fetus. Do you know when a heartbeat begins for that human?
No, I don't.
3 to 4 weeks. Brainwaves begin at 6 to 7 weeks. So there's a heartbeat and brainwaves. And during an abortion, the baby can feel all the pain. And when they do insert the little pliers with the little sharp edges on the end of it, and they stick it in and they pull the baby's legs off during the abortion, they don't give the baby any pain medication. So when that baby has a heartbeat and brainwaves, how is that not living?
Well, because they don't follow all of these laid out characteristics of life.
So they're at a different stage of life.
Yeah, I think that it really does boil down more to whether or not you see the ending of a potential life as murder, or if you only see the ending of a current life as murder, Like if you nip it in the bud and say this one won't have a life in the future, but it's not living right now. And if you say that's murder, you know?
Well, it's still at a different. It's not exactly a potential life. It's just at a different stage of life. It just hasn't been born yet. It's in the mother's stomach and it can feel pain and it's essentially just a human, just like us, except it's not as developed. But it eventually
It's at a stage of life in which it's not living.
the stage of life is living.
No,
Like-
but it doesn't follow these 8 characteristics laid out by the University of Minnesota.
I know, but how does if it has brainwaves and a heartbeat, and it's at a different stage of life that is living? That's just a stage of living in general. It eventually will grow up, and you like both of us were at the exact same point. Every human was at the exact same point, and then they grew up and they came to where we are today. So how is that not the exact same if it's just a different stage of life?
I think
It's
that
or a baby in the womb. It's still a human regardless. So it deserves human rights.
again, I think that it boils down to opinion on that. I think it boils down to whether or not you consider the ending of a potential life as murder or not. And I personally wouldn't. I think it's only murder if they're currently living, but if they're only going to live in the future and they don't live right now, I do not see that as murder.
So a potential life isn't exact. I don't feel like that's the right term because potential means that it could be a life. It will be a life, not could be. Eventually, it will come out. I mean, it will be. It will come out of the mother's womb eventually. It's not potentially. It will. And yes, no. And after that is into the world. But before that, it's still living. It's just in the mother's womb. It's still a human, just like me and you. It's just at a different point in their life. It's at a younger point. But since it's human, it deserves the same human rights that every other human would deserve.
Well, it's only human in the fact that it has order, you know? It has human cells, but it hasn't developed the other characteristics of life that are needed in order for it to be deemed as living. So, just because it has human cells and it has a unique organization of those cells doesn't mean that it's human. I don't want us to be looking stuff up during this debate. Because I don't know if you're looking stuff up right now, but for this debate, I want it to only be the prepared research that we've done.
Why not?
Well, because for the last one, we didn't do that. And we both had time to look at our questions beforehand and do our own research beforehand. I even gave you the option to put stuff into the slideshow that I've...
You did that last time too. You had the previous time with Nolan too, and you also allowed time during the time to look things up.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying I don't want that anymore.
So you just magically decide you don't want that?
I probably should have let you know beforehand, yeah, but ideally I don't want that because I think that it kind of ruins the organization of it. And I think that we had enough time to research before everything.
I mean, I did research everything. I just didn't add anything to the slides.
I
But
gave
I
you the
didn't
option to.
be able to pull that up during the debate.
You didn't know I was going to pull it up?
No, I didn't know I wasn't going to be allowed to pull stuff up that wasn't on your slideshow.
What did you just look up?
Let's see. What is this? This is a .org. Hold on. Let me see what this is. I have to read this.
Touchdown, Jeremiah Smith. Bang!
The .gov. I think I can share my screen on here, but this is on a Chromebook, so it sucks. All right, we'll go back to my original argument because I can't find the original source. I'm finding multiple sources, but they're way too much to read. So that it does list multiple characteristics of things that happen at conception, but that's at conception. Later on, even though it doesn't hit that original 5 months, it's not potential life. It will become, or it already is living, but it will become produced eventually. So even though all those characteristics...
So you're saying that it is living, but it's not produced. What does produced mean?
Yeah, it's living, but it hasn't come out into the world yet, yes. But it's still at a different stage of life. It's still human, and it's still living. and breathing and has brainwaves and can feel pain. So I believe that's still a human and deserves human rights, and there should be no reason to murder it.
At 5 months, it does. It feels all those things and it has all these characteristics, but I don't think that beforehand it's murder.
I can feel those things before 5 months, I'm pretty sure. All of those characteristics may be true at 5 months, but I can feel pain before 5 months, I'm pretty sure.
That's only response to stimuli, so it's not actually. It doesn't fit all characteristics still.
Why does it matter if it fits all characteristics?
Because that's the definition of life. And murder is the taking of a life and the ending of a life.
According to University of Minnesota definition of life, one university out of the multiple across the nation.
This is the general scientific consensus of life.
Okay.
This is just one source that I found that lays it out clearly.
Yeah, one source.
Yeah, this is one source, but this is the scientific consensus.
Okay, so why is one source superseding every other source that might be out there?
It doesn't. I'm just saying I didn't collect several sources for this because I didn't think that it was necessary. I just found one that summarized the definition of life in one big sentence.
Exactly. So, if there's one source out there that says that life begins here,
There's not one source. There are several sources. I just didn't look at them.
There's several sources that support multiple things. There's several sources all over the internet. Why does this one source that you brought up supersede every other source? That's what I want to know.
So, are you admitting to the fact that they are not living before 5 months?
Why did I say that?
Because you're moving on to my source.
No, I'm trying to figure out why that source that says it begins at 5 months, why that supersedes every other source out there.
It doesn't supersede every other source. I just found a source that is reliable.
Okay.
It's a .edu from the University of Minnesota, and it lays out the definition of life, which they teach to college students.
Okay. That's actually separate. That's actually a separate issue of whether college is a scam or that out. But, yeah, we know. I know you're taking that one. Yeah, so that's one. So that's one source. There's multiple sources out there that don't support that. What I'm trying to figure out is why why that one source it matters more than all the other sources.
It doesn't matter more than the other sources.
Why does it matter at all?
Well, because this is a reliable source.
Of many.
Yeah, of many. This is a reliable source that supports what I'm trying to say, and it makes sense. So I gave it here.
Okay, cool. But I don't know why that matters here if there's so many other sources out there also.
You're trying to make this all about my source when we should be making it more about the actual abortion.
Exactly, you keep going back to every.
So you're saying that this is the incorrect definition of life? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm saying that every conservative believes that is the incorrect definition of life, not just me. Every conservative out there believes that. Yes.
Okay, so then you could have just said that. You didn't have to try and attack my source. You're not even attacking my source.
I'm saying that I'm trying to understand why the source matters so much here. If there's so many other things so many other sources that disagree with it. A source matters if it's statistics of this many people died at this time. But if there's a source and then there's so many other sources that are completely opposite of it, you're just going to go around in circles looking at different sources that can contradict each other.
You never provided me with a source that contradicts this.
Do you understand that there are many other sources that do contradict it?
Yeah, but there are also just as many sources that support this.
Exactly. There's sources on both sides.
So what are you trying to say, man? Why are you making this all about my source?
Because that one source doesn't matter if there's so many other sources that are just like it.
So do none of the sources matter then?
In a debate about this, of course, yes.
Why only this? I mean, I have sources for everything.
This is a debate whether one thing is whether it's life or not. In a debate about are gas prices lower, you have to look up and see if gas prices are lower or not. If they are, then somebody's wrong and somebody's right. But if you look at abortion numbers, one source will say that it's life at 5 months. One source will say that it's life at conception. I'm
fine admitting to the fact that this is kind of a matter of opinion and that we're not going to reach a consensus on this.
That's true for almost every single topic. That's how a debate is.
Yeah, not every single topic, but especially abortion. This is one of the hardest like topics to agree on in politics, I'd say, because
Yeah.
like everybody thinks of life differently. Because I think you think of potential life as like the ending of a potential life as murder, but I don't. So that's why we're not going to come to a conclusion on this.
Yeah. The
Potential life is a sperm and an egg.
And dude, Nolan, this is not your debate.
and that's not even potential life. It's not potential life. Potential is there's still a question: will it become life or not? It's already life. It's at a stage of life. And like I'm saying, we're gonna disagree. We're gonna disagree on almost everything here. And at the end, we're still gonna disagree.
Hmm?
So like that's the truth. Exact. Well, I'm here because I'm here because Nolan said that I was scared to do this, so now I'm here. But yeah, we're just gonna go in circles on everything anyway. So all
Yeah, let's move on to the next question.
right, cool.
Let's see here. Where's my question? Here it is. Okay, so this is one that you actually kind of requested.
Yep.
Oh, whoops, wait. It's basically just why is socialism bad and why is capitalism good?
So I think that my main worry with socialism is and I see it throughout history is that you've explained before and you explained in the last debate that socialism is about the people who earn money and people who are rich get less money and they give their money to the poor people. That's not what it's about. It's about that you think the government should be more in control of what people are buying instead of multiple companies who are focused more on profit. That's the main thing, right?
I mean, kinda, not really, but kinda.
Oh, okay. What did I miss?
I just think that workplaces should be owned by the workers rather than one capitalist at the head of it.
Okay, so and then the government would usually produce the goods, right, instead of the companies.
Yeah, the government could like oversee the several worker co-ops.
And then instead of like the companies figuring out the prices and they're only focused on profit, it would be the government.
Yeah, probably set prices.
Okay, yeah. So that's why I think that's what worries me, and I want to There's a couple. There's a hypothesis. There's like a something called the butter hypothesis that I want to bring up. I don't know if you're familiar with that. And then there's also just a thing, not theoretical, what has happened in history is if the government does fall into debt, which has happened, I think we're still in debt right now. We've been for the last like, yeah, so like, and we've been in debt for the last like 20 years, 25 years. So when the government ends up controlling the prices of everything and they need a way to get out of debt, what is stopping them from making these prices extremely high so that they can get themselves out of debt? And that's why I think that it's better to have companies do it because companies, they can't just make their prices. If they want their price of butter, here's the butter example would be if they want a price of butter to be $50, they can't do that because everybody else is just going to go buy butter from somewhere else that's $12. But if the government produces all the butter and they make it $50, everybody has to spend $50 on butter and everybody becomes poor. That's what I'm worried.
Here's the thing about a socialist government. The entire point of it is to be completely against the idea of profit. The whole point of it is to only be charging the consumers as much as it would take to produce what they're consuming.
Uh-huh.
And also, under capitalism, at least at the stage of capitalism that we're in right now, and the stage of capitalism that we've been in since like the early 20th century, the monopolies in specifically the United States have been taking more and more power and more control over production, and that does pretty much exactly what you're saying right now. They're able to set their prices at whatever they want, and no one else can really compete against them.
Yeah, but that'll happen the same thing if the government is in control of everything.
I just explained that that's not how it works under socialism. The entire
That's
point is to
Nope,
not.
yep. That's how
Nope.
it worked in Mozambique when Ethiopia seized assets and they engaged in nationalism. That was to help themselves out of debt, and it ended up making their citizens poor. It's also why people in Poland were standing in line for bread because it was so expensive.
When in Poland?
In Poland, when were they socialists? Probably the 90s or something. Hold on,
Like in the Warsaw Pact, like Cold War?
when was Poland socialist? 1952 to 1989.
Okay, well, I mean, Poland Well, there's other factors here besides just socialism. When we just see a bread line in a socialist country, we can't just say socialism did that. We also have to look at some other factors. You know, they were fresh out of World War II. They were one of the most devastated countries in Europe. They were the first to be invaded. They were occupied throughout the entire war. The Soviet Union went straight through them to get to Germany. I mean, they were ravaged by the war. I mean, they had a lot of issues afterward. So when you look at a bread line and say that's because of socialism, that's a serious straw man. Because I could do the same thing when, like during the Great Depression, and there were bread lines under a capitalist society. I could look at that and be like, that's because of capitalism. But there's other factors there, aren't there?
Well, why? Wait, what? The Great Depression. Wait, how does that have anything to do with it? If it that doesn't have anything.
There were bread lines in America during the Great Depression. So if I point to those bread lines in America and say that's because of capitalism, that's the same thing as what you're doing.
But in Poland, they did tax their citizens. They did raise prices. That is all true.
And the same thing happened in America.
In the Great Depression?
Yes. Prices got super duper high up, not because of the government, but because of companies.
When does that ever so yeah, for the Great Depression, yes, that happened.
Yeah, and so in Poland, that also happened.
Yes, and then the reason that happened was because the stock market dropped, but not because they were in debt. So if a country goes in debt, they can do the exact same thing.
But I don't think that a socialist government should be doing that. Any good socialist government should have checks and balances to prevent them from doing something like that.
I don't think any government should do that either. It doesn't mean that they're not going to.
Yeah, but they should have checks and balances to ensure that they aren't doing that. In the Soviet Union, there were price controls, and those worked out pretty well for the average consumer.
Okay, that's one country then.
Yeah, Poland is also one country.
Okay, fine. They also did it in Vietnam. They also did it in Ethiopia. They also did it in Mozambique. There's 3 more countries. I don't know how many you need.
Okay, and then what about like Chile or Guatemala?
Okay, so there's on both sides. Once again, there's both sides that did different things. But if any country can do it, what's stopping the United States from doing it?
What do you mean? Like under socialism? Because I think that they should have checks and balances to ensure that they aren't just raising prices out of nowhere.
Okay, so if they have a social government, how do you know that they're going to have checks and balances? What if they don't?
Well, I think that they should. I think that when the government is being created, I think that they should have checks and balances.
Asking for a dream utopian society where everything's perfect and equal.
What?
For a dream society where everything's perfect and equal.
That's impossible. Yeah, well, I mean, you can wish for anything to happen. It doesn't mean that's going to happen, though. You can say that I want a socialist country, but I want them to have checks and balances. They might not have checks and balances.
Okay.
So that's what's going to happen.
Why does that matter? I mean, you could apply that to anything in the world.
Exactly. That's my point.
So why is that unique to
What
socialism?
does it matter if it's not going to affect anything?
Why is that unique to socialism, though?
What, checks and balances? What is unique to socialism?
Like, why is not having checks and balances unique to socialism?
Well, because in socialism, unlike capitalism, the entire government can raise the prices to help themselves out of debt, or tax their citizens to help themselves out of debt.
Yeah, but I think that I think they should have checks and balances so that they don't do that. Under capitalism, companies can do that just so that they can make a better profit.
You mean raise prices?
Yes.
Only monopolies can do that.
No, not only monopolies, not necessarily.
I mean, if one company raises their prices, people will buy from another company. But if the government makes everything, then they can't buy from anywhere else. They have to spend as much money as the government wants them to spend.
Yeah, but I think that they should have checks and balances so that they aren't doing that, and I don't think that applies to the values of socialism.
Okay, but if it was a capitalist society, they wouldn't need to have checks and balances. That issue would be completely
Capitalist societies need checks and balances. We need to be regulating our businesses very, very heavily to prevent them from monopolizing. We need checks and balances to protect the consumers just as much in capitalism as in socialism.
Just as much.
Yes, just as much.
I disagree because I think that there's only a few monopolies in the United States, and everything would be a monopoly run by the government if it was in a socialist country.
Yeah, but everything would also be a worker co-op. So everything would have the say of the workers in mind.
What do you mean? What do you mean? How would it have to say the workers?
Because the workers also produce everything, and the workers are going to be leading the country.
I thought how are the workers going to lead the country?
I'm not entirely sure how it would work, but it would obviously be a democracy, and it wouldn't just be like one tyrannical leader. It would be like there would be checks and balances. There would be different branches of government.
Okay, I can kind of see that, but all right. So you want like a democratic socialism? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that the only reason why socialism is bad?
I think that's the biggest reason, at least that I can like. I think that's the biggest thing that I'd be worried about in general if we were in a socialist country.
Anything else?
Well, I mean, the government is would have so much more power. So like, and I don't like the government to have power. I don't think anybody does. But
Is that the only issue that you have with socialism? Is just like the amount of power that the government would have?
well, yeah, that's one issue that would spring to mind so many other issues.
Like what?
Well, wouldn't they be able to control like how many people join the military? You have to do this, things like that.
America can do that too.
What do you mean?
They can draft people and conscript people.
Yeah,
It has to be approved by Congress.
only during war, and it has to be approved by Congress. What Nolan just said.
So why is that different than socialism?
Because in socialist countries, they force you to join the military
What
without.
the hell are you talking about? Why? How is that unique to socialism?
Well, and obviously, socialism will eventually lead to communism, which is also another problem. But
Okay, and why is that a problem?
really,
Just explain it to me, man. Because you're saying stuff, I want you to explain them.
okay. Well, in general, communism is gonna have an entire, and obviously, communism could lead to a dictator also, which has happened in many countries, like Vietnam, which I just named. So I think that the problem with communism is going to be the government having way too much power over the money, way too much power over how things are priced and taxation, and people are going to end up being too poor. Whereas in a capitalist country, the overall money is going to stay with the companies. So or not with the companies, it's going to stay with the company's workers, and it's going to end up if they price something way too high, nobody's going to buy it. They're going to buy it from somewhere else. The government, everybody has to buy it.
How does money stay with the workers under capitalism?
Because it stays with the because if the government has more, as the government is pricing everything, the people are gonna give more money to the government. If butter is $50 from everybody goes to the government.
Yeah, but the money also goes back into the workers. And they're not making a profit off of it. It's only as much as it costs to produce it.
How does the money go back into the workers?
Because it wouldn't be like it would just be how like the funding is allocated really. I think that a socialist government should be allocating this fucking light is really weird, but the funding should be allocated much better to the workers and public infrastructure, stuff like that, rather than military spending or wasteful spending, stuff that that's only good for the politicians at the top.
Okay.
What was that? What was that noise?
We're at 5 minutes left, by the way, so just to let you know.
Also, I think capitalism does ultimately lead to tyranny, because I think that as capitalism goes on, wealth gets more and more concentrated at the top, and that can oftentimes lead to fascism. And oligarchies.
Doesn't fascism have to do with the government?
I mean, I think every kind of ideology has to do with the government. I don't know.
There's nowhere in my notes on fascism on here. Administration, whatever. So you think that capitalism leads to fascism?
Ultimately, yes.
Okay, so like how so?
Because it leads to more wealth concentration at the top and no wealth concentration at the bottom.
How would it lead to no wealth concentration at the bottom? Wouldn't that the same thing happen in a socialist country?
No. The
Why not?
entire point of socialism is for all of the money to be at the bottom rather than the top.
And how would that be carried out?
Because all means of production would be owned by the workers rather than by capitalists.
How would it be owned by the workers?
Worker co-ops.
Okay, explain those. I must not. I probably don't know. I don't know what those are. So explain those.
Basically, the businesses are owned by the workers and they're managed by a council of workers who are democratically elected with term limits. Because Americans always talk about democracy and everything like that, but we never practice democracy in the workplace. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
So like, you think if someone owns a company and builds it, the government should step in and say you have to step down in a certain amount of years after your term.
Well, no, I mean, companies aren't going to be built by individuals necessarily. They're going to be largely built by the government and then managed by the workers, and all of the profit and anything else would be given to the workers.
How is it built by the government and not built by somebody else? That doesn't make sense. Then who do they get to be in charge of it? To that company. Let's say they build a company on mattress stores. They just find somebody and tell them you have to be the governor, or they have an election for it, or how does that work?
I'm not quite sure. I'd rather not get bogged down in all that stuff. We only have a few minutes left.
Okay.
I can give you a good answer. I'm still working that out myself.
Okay. Cool.
All right, let's move on to the next question. You're up next.
All right. My question was: do you support DEI being allowed in hiring processes?
I mean, yes and no. I don't. I'm not necessarily against it, but I'm also not like super for it. I think that it's mostly just another one of those like stupid like liberal Democrat virtue signaling sort of things. Cause, I don't think it's gonna change systematic racism in like a big way. And systematic racism, it's not laws. It's a system. It's basically just it's not laws. It's like how there is more African Americans in like a poor community than there would be white Americans. Like it's just how the country has like built itself up and how it's working right now, but not necessarily how it should be working on paper. Do you know what I mean?
I think so. Yeah. I think the main thing that I am trying to tackle with DEI is the qualifications, and not exact, or more so the whoever's more qualified. I think with DEIs, they focus more on diversity than they do who's the most qualified, and I think that actually can lead to racism.
How will it lead to racism exactly?
Well, so let's take advantage. Let's take example. Let's say an airline company in 2022. This is based off a real example, but it's not the exact. It's a hypothetical. Let's say in 2022, an airline company has 90% of its workers are white, and then 10% of its workers are black. Let's say that, and then the following year they say, okay, we're going to make sure that 50% of our workers are black, even if they still say that qualifications will be met. So everybody has to be qualified. If you're going from 90% of people who are white to 50%, that means most likely that next year people are going to show up. White people are going to show up that happen to pass the tests, the plane test or the pilot test better than black people, but they say you're still not going to get the job over this guy, even though you performed better than this person on our test. You're not going to get it because you're not black. So those qualifications wouldn't be focused on as much as diversity, and those people who are more qualified than everybody else would be denied jobs because of the color of their skin. I think that's how it would lead to racism.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think that hiring quotas don't lead to racism that directly. Like, I don't think that qualifications should ever be lowered just to get people of a certain race into a workplace, obviously, because that doesn't really make any sense. But hiring quotas, as long as they don't diminish requirements, I don't think that they necessarily lead to racism.
Well, I think that denying someone a job because of the color of their skin instead of that they're more qualified is racism, right?
Um, I mean, yeah, but yeah, I think so. I don't think that they should be denying people based off their race. I think that blind hiring, which is part of DEI, is a lot better than that, which is basically where they like don't show any of the characteristics such as gender or race and ethnicity or anything like that, and they just do based on entirely off of their qualifications and their past experiences.
That'd be great. I think that's honestly how everything should work. That's no focus entirely off qualifications. Who's the best for the job and get the job. I mean, I guess actually it could lead to I don't even know if that's possible in some scenarios. Like just genuinely, if someone has to take a pilot test, somebody's gonna have to be right next to them while they're taking the pilot. So they're gonna see if they're a woman or if they're black or if they're Asian or whatever. But I do think that that blind hiring that'd be great. If as many places as it can be used, it should be used.
Yeah. But I'm not really against hiring quotas because it's just hiring, you know? It's not like they're firing people based off of their race. And as long as the qualifications are just the same for everybody else, I don't see like a big issue with it.
So you think that it should be based off qualifications only, or should not be based?
It should be based off qualifications only.
Perfect. I agree.
All right, let's move on then, I suppose.
Oh, we're halfway there.
Number 2. This is my favorite one. I said, is global warming a real phenomenon?
I think I mean just based off the simple data, like if in terms of greenhouse gas emissions, carbon dioxide, the percentage of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere has gone up. So I mean, based on that, I would say global warming is real, and just based off the data itself.
Is it a global phenomenon?
A global phenomenon.
That's not what I said. Nolan, stay out of this. Okay, so I have a few slides to present.
Okay.
So, let's see. Get you back up there. Okay. Here's my first one. This is from NASA, straight from NASA. Carbon dioxide is an important greenhouse gas. Greenhouse gases trap the heat from sunlight, warming the planet. Without any greenhouse gases, Earth would be too cold to support life. But the more greenhouse gases there are in the atmosphere, the warmer the planet becomes. I think we both agree on that, right?
Yeah.
So, prior to the Industrial Revolution, which was when global warming really started, the atmospheric dioxide was 280 ppm or less. I don't remember what ppm stands for, and I didn't include it in the presentation, so that was my bad.
You're
But
fine.
just remember 280 or less.
Wait, what did you say?
Per minute?
Points per minute? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
No, it's not points per minute. What are you talking about, man?
Hold on.
Okay.
Wait, look that up. What does ppm stand for?
Yeah, that's fine.
Stand. It stands for parts per million.
That's
Yeah.
You got the per right, Nolan.
Okay, well, in 1960, the ppm of CO2 was 320, which is 40 more than what it was prior to the Industrial Revolution. And by 2025, or 2026, whenever this ends, I'm not quite sure, it was north of 420. So it went from 1960 to 2020, it went up by 100 ppm. So every time the CO2 concentrations rise by 10 ppm, the mean global temperature increases by 0.18 degrees Fahrenheit. So just think about that. That means that in this graph alone, from 1960 to 2020 something, it rose by 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit. 1.89 degrees Fahrenheit just since 1960. In the next 100 years, at that trajectory, it'll be up by another additional 2.9 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay.
This is the sea level. This goes from the 1990s to 2025. Sea height variation in millimeters. It's gone up 91.2 millimeters since 1993, which is 3.6 inches, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you think about
3.6 inches isn't a lot.
when you think about it,
Yeah.
what?
Never mind.
He said, dang it, his wiener is 3.6.
Thank you for the clarification, man.
Anyways, 3.6 inches.
But
3.6 inches up is not that much, it's not that much. But when you think about a shoreline, 3.6 inches going up on a shoreline that's horizontal like this, that's a substantial amount. I didn't include any visual representations of that in here, but this is a visual representation of the sea level since 1993.
No!
I'll speed it up.
What are you doing, Marchman? It's so dark.
It's been steadily rising since 1993. And it only picks up more and more as it goes on.
Okay.
11 centimeters since 1993. This is global temperatures since 1880, which is roughly around the start of the Industrial Revolution. It picks up more in the 1960s than anything else. It fluctuates from 1880 to 1940. What's this one? This is just global carbon dioxide visualized on a map.
Okay.
It's gotten a whole lot worse. Then this is just carbon dioxide. The same thing, same time span, just in graph form for both of those. And this is just a graph of the whole, it's like the whole history of the Earth as we know it. This is the global mean surface temperature. As you can see, if we look over here, we are technically in a cooling period right now. We are technically in a cooling period right now, but this is how long human beings have been on Earth, 300,000 years on this graph. But this number is the start of the Industrial Revolution. This is 400 years represented on this graph, which is too small to even register a pixel.
Okay.
Saying that we're in a cooling period with that percentage of the graph, that's like saying I don't like the color of James Cline's house from this picture of the United States.
Okay.
That's all I have on that, so you're free to talk now.
Okay. So, yeah, no, I agree. That makes a lot of sense. I don't disagree with any of that. That makes sense. The data supports it. Yeah.
So it is a crisis or no?
No.
No, what would make it a crisis? Just so I know, like, what are the biggest threats that come from this?
Well, I mean, I guess this does technically a matter of opinion, but I mean, 2.9 degrees in the next 100 years. That's a pretty substantial increase. It doesn't sound like a lot, but that is a substantial increase.
2.9 degrees in the next how many years?
100 years.
100 years.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of a substantial increase. I feel like 2.9 degrees in a 1 year is a crisis, but so I wouldn't actually
You
label it
have
a
very
crisis.
high expectations then. And 3.6 inches, that's a pretty substantial amount.
Yeah, I agree. 3.6 inches is giant.
Yeah, sea levels, 3.6 inches. There's going to be a migration crisis from the coast of the United States into the like inner parts of the United States soon if we are not careful.
You think it's going to flood the coast?
I think that it will definitely cause like a lot of issues for the people living on the coast. Sea levels are going to rise. People are definitely going to have. There could possibly be like more natural disasters and stuff like that too. I mean, with
Okay.
this drastic of a sea level rising, I mean, that's serious in my opinion.
Yeah, that seems like a problem. Yeah. What do you think we should do to fix it? You have
Well, I don't think that just like electric cars or something like that is going to fix it. And that's another one of those virtue signaling things, personally. I think that we need to heavily regulate businesses and not allow them to be just gushing CO2 into the air by burning so many fossil fuels. I think that we need to start moving to cleaner energy. Because a lot of cleaner energy is on par with fossil fuels and could end up being more profitable than fossil fuels. I didn't include any of that in my evidence, but it could end up being more profitable potentially. And I think that that's like a serious untapped market that would also provide a lot of benefits for like the future of humanity.
Yeah, I agree. That makes sense. I don't really have a problem with any of that. I'm not like a huge supporter of fossil fuels or anything like that. I honestly didn't even have that much information on this before I did research on it. So, yeah, that makes sense. I agree with that.
Okay, we can move on to the next one then.
Cool.
Fourth, sixth, the way there.
Thanks, Nolan. My question was, do you think the left public is violent or has a tendency towards violence?
Yeah. Um, I don't think so. I think that painting any ideology, like all of the people that identify with a certain ideology as violent is kind of ridiculous in my opinion. Um, because it's always going to be case by case, always. And also I want to show this graph here. This just shows, it's from the Center for Strategic and International Studies, it's a .org. This is terrorist attacks and plots in the U.S. by the orientation of the perpetrator. So as you can see, left is blue, and historically, the blue is a lot smaller than the red. If we look at 2025, though, I will definitely say that the left has grown more violent than the right. I think that that's largely because the Trump presidency has kind of made the far right of the country a lot more content with the situation, and they aren't as willing to just go and plot terrorist attacks.
Yeah, okay. So I think that as of recently, especially the left has committed a lot of acts of violence. I'm not sure how many acts of I know it shows what is that? It's terrorist attacks and plots in the United States are perpetrator oriented. So is that like acts of violence by the right or
Yeah.
okay, so do you have like any specific examples?
No, I not on this graph, no. But I don't really like anecdotes personally. I think that they kind of like they focus more on the emotions rather than like the statistics and the actual facts.
I mean, the fact is that the thing that the anecdotes or whatever, the fact is those things happen. That those are facts.
Yeah, they're facts, but I don't. I think that it's better to focus on statistics because that shows the full picture.
Would you say that some disasters may be more uh what was this word? Maybe more severe than others?
Um, no.
Really?
I mean, I think it really just matters how many people are killed and how many lives are affected.
Like yeah, I think that's the hugest thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what matters. Yeah. So some of them are different then.
Okay. Yeah. So I think we agree. I think that I think the left's public violence, as of recently, has just been over the top in terms of attacking law enforcement in Minneapolis and the multiple assassination attempts. And I think that that's what I'm really worried about. Is if the left has been so violent recently, it's turning into less of it's turning into less of political disagreement and more political violence. And I hate that and I hate that person. I hate that side, and I think that's what worries me the most about this. And most of that recently has been coming from the left.
It's important. I think it's important to note that that is only recently, and I also think it's important to note that this little blue square, this little blue rectangle right here, is absolutely dwarfed by all of these red rectangles. I think it's still less than that one. Over here, no. Over there, yeah, but pretty much all of these big red rectangles, which show the right, are a lot larger than this left one.
Do you think that maybe the recency matters more than the past? Because I think that I agree with those old ones that the right used to be more violent. Yes, I think that's changed though. I think that the right is moving and the conservative movement is moving in a much different direction.
Why do you say that?
Because of that graph, and also because of the way that things are moving right now. I mean, what kind of assassination attempts can you bring up from the right in the last 5 years?
None. I don't think. I don't really know about any.
I can bring up a couple from the left.
Charlie Kirk, Trump, yeah.
James T. Hodgkinson's assassination attempt at the congressional baseball game. The Waukesha Christmas Parade massacre. Actually, I'm not sure if that was exactly an attempted assassination, but the Lee Zeldin stabbing attempt is also an attempted assassination. There's multiple assassinations on not just the Butler, Pennsylvania one. I believe that the United Healthcare CEO's murder was also leftist motivated, but I'm not exactly sure about that one. But so there's quite a lot from the left as of recently. I think that that the violence is moving toward the other side.
Okay, somebody just texted me something, but I'm not allowed to use it because I can't use stuff I haven't already researched. Sorry, big dog. Again, those are anecdotes, but I don't know if it's really that the right is becoming less violent and the left is becoming more violent. I think it's just what's going on right now with the Trump presidency. I think that Trump is kind of just like making them a little bit less willing to commit acts of violence right now. And I think that the numbers could possibly switch sides again once Trump goes away or once there's like a big shift in popular politics.
I mean, yeah, but that's a theoretical.
Yeah, but you're also saying a theoretical right now.
How?
Because you're saying that you think that the right is going to be less violent and the left is going to be more violent in the future.
Well, recently, that's true.
Yeah, but I'm saying, what I'm saying as my hypothetical is that it's only because of Trump and in the future the numbers are going to switch back around. And you're saying the opposite, that it's not because of Trump and that it's not going to switch back around and this trend is going to continue.
Maybe, but that's based off what you think will happen. Based on 2025, what you just showed, the left has been more violent.
Yeah, but that's just based off of like 1 year, and it's I don't think
most recent year.
What?
The most recent year.
Yeah, and I don't think that trend is necessarily going to continue for a long time. I think that it's probably going to switch back around once Trump gets out of office.
Okay, maybe. I mean, I don't know.
The graph also doesn't point out how severe you're going to be violent.
Yeah, that's a good point. The graph doesn't point out the severity of the violence.
That's a matter of opinion.
I suppose. I feel like.
Who have you seen burn cars and who have you seen protests with religion? I'll ask you that.
Who's going to attack law enforcement too? That's a huge one. I mean, I feel like that's kind of uncalled for.
Huh?
Attacking law enforcement. I think that's been a completely left act, and that one's crazy.
Attacking law enforcement isn't like specific to the left. It's just recently the left has been doing that, and I think that's because protests are the language of the people that aren't being heard and aren't being represented. And I don't think that they're seeing themselves as being represented in politics right now, probably because the Senate, the House, and the executive branches are all held by Republicans. And so Democrats and liberals and leftists don't feel represented at all.
Well, it doesn't matter how they. It doesn't matter how they feel. They can peaceful protest as much as they want, but they can't violently protest.
I mean, it's language of the unheard. I mean, that's, again, like a matter of opinion. I mean, if you think that they can't violently protest, that's okay. But I just don't think that they should be going after innocent civilians, but they're not. They're going after law enforcement. They're going after people that they see as as being suppressive towards them.
We're about to be out of time on this question, by the way.
Okay, I just want to make one last statement. The law enforcement are civilians. They're just doing their job.
Mm-hmm.
Law enforcement are also civilians. They're just doing their job. Then that's their job is to enforce the law. So they're still civilians.
Yeah. But they're also the people that are trying to, like, sort of suppress those people and keep them from actually protesting and voicing their own opinions in, like, a out of process way,
Only if they're doing it violently.
But they also do that for peaceful protests.
How?
There have been a lot of like Antifa protests where it's mostly just marching rather than like anything actually violent or disruptive.
You don't think any of those people, like none of them, tried to assault or attack an officer?
Some of them might have, not all of them.
Usually, those are the people who get arrested.
All right, a little birdie is telling me to wrap it up.
All right.
Is that one was yours, right?
Yeah, that one was mine.
Aren't you on the last question now?
Yes, we are.
That's quick.
I thought this one was going to be Ian's favorite question. Apparently, the global warming one.
Okay.
Yeah. Brandon start.
You guys kind of sped through those, so if you want to like go back to any of them, because you still got an hour.
I don't know, but maybe. I want to eat lunch. But maybe.
Okay. Yeah, let's just wrap this up and then we can do questions from the audience.
Cool.
Okay, so my last question was, why isn't the Trump administration fascist?
So I think the main thing that I look at for this is I look at some of the old fascist, for the other things that are the other countries that have been fascist. And typically in fascist countries, things like media is no longer open to speak freely about the Trump administration, no longer to criticize the administration, where Trump receives media attacks every single day. And that's not what you see in fascist regimes at all. Also things like federal courts are altered to be in favor of the Trump administration. Laws that want to be passed in fascist regimes are just passed immediately, where that doesn't happen here a lot. Trump, because of how close the Congress is right now, a lot of some things that Trump is trying to pass through haven't been passed, and that usually doesn't happen in fascist regimes either. Let's see what the next one is here. Fascist regimes have industries. Right. Okay. Fascism regimes have industries aligned with regime goals. So that's, I think that mainly what Trump is doing is actually not only helping America, but it's also helping other countries. I mean, what kind of fascist regime is just going to, out of the goodness of their heart, go and capture a leader and help an entire country like Venezuela and try to get them out of the horrible state that they're in? I do think that was helping them because I think Maduro was over there torturing everybody. I think that's my last one. Do I have any other ones? I think those are like the main points that why I think the Trump regime isn't. Trump is not regime. If it was the Trump regime, it would be fascist. If the Trump administration isn't fascist, I don't think that. Because of that, they just don't have a lot of the same fascist ideals that other countries have.
Okay, well, personally, I find that like definition and idea of fascism as kind of juvenile, honestly. So I have a theory of mine that's
Alright.
probably been said by a lot of other people at this point, but I don't know.
Theory.
I think that fascism has changed a lot since its inception, and I think that it's kind of like nowhere near what it once was. Like, if we look, have you heard of the Overton window?
No.
Overton window is basically just like if politics was on like a linear line, then and like left right, then the Overton window like shifts, and the Overton window, whatever's in that window, is what's acceptable at that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, look in the 15th and 16th century, we can see like the furthest left is like a republic, center, parliamentary monarchy, on the right, absolute monarchy. And then, if we shift it to the 17th and 19th century, the left is now socialism, the center is a republic, and the right is a parliamentary monarchy. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of.
Okay, and then if we look to the 20th century, more modern day, we can see that the left was more authoritarian, the socialism was more authoritarian, the center, democracy, was more conservative, the right, fascism, was very overtly authoritarian. That's what's important to look at fascism. They were very overtly authoritarian back in the day. And then now in the 21st century, the socialism could be less authoritarian, democracy could be more liberal, and fascism could be a lot less overtly authoritarian. Because in Germany, Japan, and Italy, none of those leaders that took control of the country were ever, they never claimed that they were pro-democracy. Even though they were living in semi-democracies, they never claimed to be like defending democracy or like at all pro-democracy. They claimed that democracy was bad and that it was hurting their country and that they needed something more despotic. But nowadays, I think that fascism isn't the same as back then. I think that it's changed to be a lot less authoritarian, and fascist leaders are claiming to be like bastions of democracy. They're claiming to be providing a restoration of democracy, and that only they can restore democracy. Viktor Orbán's and his Fidesz party in Hungary have been undermining democracy ever since they came to power in 2010, I think. And I think that that's a pretty good representation of it, They get control through manipulative tactics like scapegoating minorities and I had other ones. I didn't write them down, I don't think.
Do you think the Trump administration is like veering away from democracy?
I think so. I think potentially. And
Potentially.
yeah, we see what like we can see a lot of similar things to fascism in modern day America, because we see, I mean, I think that this is also like a pretty subjective comparison, but you could see ICE as like the modern day American Gestapo if you want to. I think that is, it depends on the person that you're talking to, but Trump has been sending them in, and they haven't necessarily only been going after illegal criminals or anything like that. They've been like racially profiling. They've killed quite a few white citizen civilians, and you could argue that. I'm not gonna die on that hill, but.
So yeah, I mean they arrest. They're not the only job is to arrest the illegal immigrants. They enforce 400 different statutes. If anybody is committing a crime, regardless if they're a legal immigrant, they're going to get arrested. Is that what you're arguing, or?
No, not necessarily. I'm just saying, like, they aren't only doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're also arresting citizens, and they're also being maybe a little bit trigger happy. I mean there have been 2 cases of murder, and we could argue about those all we want, but I think that neither of them are particularly justified in Minnesota.
You don't think if someone's about to ram you with their car that you can't defend yourself?
I don't think that they're ramming them with their car. I don't think we should get into this, honestly, but I don't think that they were.
Okay, I do, but all
Yeah,
right.
obviously work. See the video.
All right. Well, I mean, so your point is that they're like more too trigger happy? Is that what you don't like about them?
Yeah, they're being like far too violent with their means, and they aren't doing everything that they're supposed to be doing in like an organized fashion. They're doing a lot of racial profiling, and they're taking a lot of people that are citizens, and they're killing people without like doing something that proper law enforcement should be doing.
They only take citizens unless they've broken the law. So is there a problem with that?
No, not if they've broken the law, but is the law like truly set in stone at this point, you know? Is law kind of up to the interpretation of the government at this point? We need to make sure that the law is actually set in stone and that everybody in the country agrees on what the law is.
So you mean do you think that they're justified to wait? What they follow their job is to enforce those 400 statutes. Those 400 statutes are laws that they're just enforcing those laws. Are you saying that those laws are incorrect, or what are you trying to say?
I haven't seen the 400 statutes. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, I mean, yeah. I think we're getting away from the fascism topic of this whole thing.
I think ICE was part of the fascism, part of the argument of fascism.
I just really think that fascism has changed. I don't think that we could, like,
Go, bro.
just say because we're technically still living in a democracy that we're not living in a fascist country. We don't have to be living in a one-party police state to be living under fascism.
Okay. So what do you think that
Wait, why am I up here?
What?
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, I was like, where'd you go?
Oops.
So what do you think that the Trump administration has done besides ICE? Is there anything else they've done that makes you think that they're going away from democracy, like their fascism? Like you see that and you're like, oh, that's fascism.
I think that their rhetoric, really. I mean, the rhetoric is like a big thing for me. They demonize illegal immigrants. Like, a lot more than
They're
they.
illegal. They're committing first of all, every illegal immigrant by definition is a criminal. As soon as you enter the country illegally, you've committed a crime because that's a crime. So should we not demonize criminals?
No, I don't think that we should be demonizing criminals. No, not. I don't think we should be demonizing like any.
Hold on. Nolan, stop. Sorry, you repeat that last sentence. Nolan was talking.
I don't think that we should be demonizing immigrants. No, because
Illegal immigrants?
no, not all illegal immigrants. No, I don't think that. I think a lot of illegal immigrants came here out of desperation rather than they came here out of like a desire to commit crimes in another country or something silly like that. I don't know.
It doesn't. I didn't say that all of them came here and committed another crime, but when they cross the border by law, that is a crime.
Yeah, I just don't think that it should necessarily be considered a crime. And I think that if they're here right now, they shouldn't be arrested for their desperation to come to a country that's better.
Do you think we should just let them in if they need help? Just anybody?
Yeah, honestly. I mean, I know that's like a pretty radical thing of me to say that all people in the world deserve a good life, but I mean, that's just what I think.
I think that I agree that in terms of deporting them back to their country, I think it would make sense to help them get into the country legally. But if they want to come into the country legally, that would make more sense.
What do you mean?
Like when they're arrested, the only thing that I would suggest maybe instead of deporting them straight back to their country, which is like you said, they're in danger, they could help them get in the country legally instead of just deporting them. But I still don't think that they should just be allowed to live with everybody else because they're criminals technically. So by law, criminals get arrested.
You want to award a criminals?
What'd you say?
What'd you say?
You want to award criminals here?
You said you want to award criminals, Ian?
Award criminals?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
What is this kid doing here, man? Why are you even at his house, dude?
Because my parents are leftists and they get mad
I
at me.
thought your dad was a libertarian.
My dad was a libertarian, but my mom would get mad at me.
Alright, whatever. I don't even remember what we were talking about.
My
Yeah,
dad, my dad, my dad voted for Kamala because my mom told him to.
he what?
He
Oh,
voted for Kamala because my mom told him to. He was like, okay.
okay, well, yeah, we're not gonna obviously come to a consensus on that. I think that they shouldn't be deemed illegal, and I definitely don't think they should be demonized. They are not the reason for all of this country's woes. There are other reasons that this country is in the situation that it's in. We can't say that housing prices are up because there's illegal immigrants in the country stealing all our houses, and that unemployment is up because all the illegal immigrants are taking all the jobs.
No, but that is part of the reason.
Yeah, that's a very small part of the reason, though. A lot of the other reasons are kind of due to capitalism, and they're due to the monopolies, and they're due to the oligarchs that are controlling the system right now.
Well, so don't you think that if the government, are we going back to socialism now, or?
No, we're not going back to socialism. We're still on fascism.
So you think that like if the government, no, that's part of socialism. What do you? I don't understand how you think monopolies are preventing workers and how that would be solved in socialism. Don't you think that qualifications would still be the main? Don't you think that qualifications would still be put first if it was the government hiring the workers? Wouldn't it be the same basic?
Just trying to say that capitalism thrives when there's a pool of unemployed workers. Because unemployed people are a lot more desperate for work. Unemployed people, they want a job because they need money in order to survive. So the more unemployed people that there are, the better that capitalists are going to do because people are going to be more willing to work for less of a wage.
And if people are spending tons of money on butter because they have to spend $50 on butter because that's what the government priced it at because they're in debt.
We're talking about fascism, illegal immigration, and capitalism right now. I'm not even saying that like I'm not saying that like I'm not talking about socialism at all right now. I'm just saying that capitalism is part of is like a much larger part of the problem than illegal immigrants are.
Yes, but the point of ICE is not to fix capitalism; it's to deport people who came here illegally, because that's the law.
Yeah, but I'm saying that Trump's rhetoric demonizes illegal immigrants and says that they're taking the jobs and that they're taking houses. That's why everything is so bad right now, when that's not the reason that everything is so bad right now.
Okay.
He's doing that to get political power. That's the only reason that he's doing that. He's not doing that to make this country better. He's doing that so that he can get political power from all of the people that are like subject or like vulnerable to that kind of rhetoric.
What do you mean he's getting political power? He's the president. He has just as much power as all the other presidents. Has the same job.
No, I'm saying that he's getting political support from the people of the country by demonizing illegal immigrants and also legal immigrants by saying that they're the reason for everybody's woes.
So you think that he's using like lies to get extra people on his side to vote for him?
Yes.
Or for the Republican Party. Can you name me a single political leader that hasn't lied about anything?
That's not the point. I'm saying that he's demonizing these people that didn't do anything wrong. And he's not saying anything about the stuff that's actually causing the issues.
Illegally, that's a crime.
Yeah, but he's demonizing them and saying that they're doing things that they aren't doing.
Okay.
And he's not blaming the right people for the problems.
Okay. Sure.
That's fascism.
That's fascism?
Yes, that's part of fascism.
It's part of fascism? Okay. Is there anything else that makes him fascist? Or just that like one thing that you think may make him fascist?
He's using a lot of executive power. Like, he is. And I also think that, you know how he made the ballroom, right?
The ballroom.
Yeah. I think that that was a display of power and a display of, like status. That was like that's a status symbol and a symbol of power that he's trying to project over the rest of the world and the American people, that he can do this and he can create this large thing at the White House. And I think that that is just symbolism overall. That doesn't really affect a whole lot, but that is symbolism and that is rhetoric.
Yeah. Yeah. You can just tell me. You don't have to whisper it like a freaking Jesus. Ugh. Okay, so you think the ballroom was him making the ballroom? He shouldn't have done that. You think it's like what, selfish or whatever?
I think
You
that
don't agree that he made the ballroom, really?
he's projecting power by making that ballroom. He's trying to say that he's better than all of us and that he is the leader of the most powerful country on the earth and that he can do what he wants.
Okay, so
Because
he is the
funds are also supposed to be allocated. Funds for constructions on the White House are supposed to be allocated by Congress. But he didn't get that funding from Congress. He got it from donors. Huh?
That came out of his own pocket.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying that it's supposed to be funded by Congress, not from donors.
Okay.
Which goes against the Constitution.
You wait, what?
It goes against the Constitution.
Okay, I can see that. But I don't think that one ballroom makes his entire administration fascist.
No, it's largely symbolism. But I'm saying that's a good symbol of what he's trying to do by, going after Venezuela without congressional approval and saying that it was like a law enforcement matter rather than a military matter. And
it helped Venezuela.
That's an opinion. That's
the greatest country in the world because it's the most generous country in the world. No other country is just going to show up and help Venezuela out of the goodness of their heart, except America.
Broncos winning 7-0.
That's an opinion, and I'm not gonna argue that. I think the opposite, but I'm not gonna get into that right now.
Okay.
And I think the way that he's pressuring Europe and the way that he's framing them as extensions of the United States empire, I think that's messed up. Because every single country in Europe is a sovereign country. They all have their own power to do what they want, and they're all in the same alliance as us. And we're acting like we're better than them just because we have more military power and more economic power. But we're not. And we're trying to act like we can do whatever we want and just take stuff that's been rightfully theirs for several hundred years.
So we're not taking it. I'm pretty sure we pay for it.
Yeah, but still, we're acting like it's rightfully ours when it's not. It's Denmark's.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think he said it was ours. He said he's trying to acquire it, but he never said that it was already ours.
No, we never said that it was already ours, but he's saying that we deserve it.
He did? You think so?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay. I think it's actually more of a matter of national security than it is we deserve it and we need to have it and all that. I think it's more of national security, but other than that.
He's claiming national security, but I think that it's less national security, and I think that it's a lot more about his imperialist tendencies.
So you just think he wants it just for shits and giggles?
No, I think that he really just wants it because it would look good on a map, and I think that he wants it because it's further power projection against the rest of the world.
Land because it would look good on a map. That's what you think.
And I think that he wants it because it would be good power projection against the rest of the world.
For power. Just that's the only reason.
Saying that we can do what we want, really, we can go to our allies and say, I want this, and then they'll eventually have to give it up. That is projecting power against the rest of the world and saying that we are better than you and we can do what we want.
Okay, so I don't know if he's actually saying we can do what we want, but what is...
He's not saying that, but by taking Greenland, he would be saying that.
But How though? I think it's a matter of national security, and if it shows that we are a powerful country, why is it so bad to show that we're a powerful country? Because we are. We have one of the strongest militaries, if not the strongest in the world. We are a powerful country.
Yeah, but we can't just push other countries around, and by taking Greenland, we're saying that we can.
No, it's a dude. It's a matter of national security.
That's an excuse.
No, that's a reason, and it's a good reason.
It's not a good reason.
Yes, it is. National security is a great reason.
Yeah, it would be a good reason, but it's not the actual reason.
Yeah, it is.
How do you know?
Why would that be like a matter of national security? Just because like Russia or China wants it or something?
Yeah,
Well, who's closest to Greenland?
America and Russia.
Exactly.
So what about it?
So you think Denmark should have it? One of the weakest countries?
Yeah, they've had it for a long time.
what's stopping Russia from getting it if they just want to, what's stopping them?
If they invaded Greenland, then they would go to war with all of NATO. They would not stand a chance. They can never hold up against all of NATO. That's impossible.
Okay.
That's not true. Not without the US.
I mean, not without the U.S. in my opinion, but okay.
Yeah, even without the US, they probably wouldn't win. Russia's not a strong country. They can't even take Ukraine.
Yeah, because we sent them so much help, and so did so many other countries. If it was just the Ukraine military all by itself, it would already be part of Russia.
Yeah, I know, but still, Russia's not powerful enough to take Ukraine swiftly. And, like, even though they had US support, they still, even without it, they couldn't just take it, like, quickly, you know? It would not be, it would be still a bogged down conflict for a long time. And if they went against all of NATO, that's a lot. I know it doesn't, like, seem like that much because we're all about American exceptionalism and stuff like that, but NATO, that's a lot of countries, and they all have their own standing militaries, and they all have pretty good, high-quality standing militaries.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the militaries are alright. I mean, they're not as strong as Russia's, but yeah.
Okay, well, even, we would still have the U.S. They would be going to war with us, which they definitely wouldn't stand a chance against that. So they would have no reason to get Greenland because they would be risking, like, complete annihilation.
So what's the problem with getting Greenland if that'll prevent any
Because
possibility?
there's no reason to.
I think Trump has been saying the same reason for like the last 3 months.
China and Russia aren't going to get it. There's no way that they could get it without going to war with all of NATO, which they wouldn't be able to win.
It would be the downside of having Greenland.
It wouldn't be a downside. It would just be it would be imperialism. In my humble opinion, it would be imperialism.
Okay, I disagree, but okay.
I think we should do questions now. What do you think? Okay.
No, you want food? Get it yourself.
I'm not saying anything.
You just said food.
Everybody, we are looking at the questions. James, can you see them?
Yeah, I can see him. Hold on, let me make this bigger.
We're looking at the questions right now. It's going to take a little bit because it's delayed. So we have like a little bit.
You guys do how IVE operates and whether or not it's in the bounds of law. Also, I joined a little. Okay, IVE. What the hell is that? Oh, is that ICE? I started trying to say ICE. They misspelled ICE wrong.
Oh, wait.
Next to BM.
ICE operates in whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I don't know what IVE was. Nolan, we're not getting food. No. They want me to.
You want cheese in your burger?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Is ready?
ICE operates in whether or not it's in the bounds of laws. Also, I joined a little late, so I don't know if you guys already talked about that.
I have to go. I have to go eat.
Oh, okay.
If you want, I can come back later if you're still on. But
No, it's all right. I think that we did a good job today.
all right, cool. That was awesome.
Thanks for coming on.
No problem. I had a good time.
You have a good one, big man.
Thanks. You too.
Bye, everyone.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
That was like really boring compared to the last one.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do?
There was also like nobody in the chat the whole time.
That's unfortunate, man.
Yeah, man, it is.
I did a better job at producing this time, and nobody even cares.
Hey, man, I care.
Can somebody please, like, acknowledge the fact that I did a good job at producing this one?
I think Big King left. Isn't that sad?
No, not Big King. Not number one big, large king.
Big.
Okay, wait. Okay, so when you take audience questions... Dang it. Could you guys do how ICE operates and whether or not it's in the bounds of laws? We did kind of already talk about that a little bit ago. Oh, Big King is here! Welcome back, Big King. Yeah, I kind of already did that. Nobody else asked any questions.
Nobody responded to the message you put in the group chat.
Which one?
The link. You put the link and nobody responded. Or Ben put the link, I mean.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, alright, this is a pretty bum debate, actually.
It also only it didn't even last that long. It was like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I thought it'd be longer, too. The last one lasted like 2 hours or something like that.
I just don't think people don't really care about James Cline like they do Nolan Kane.
Yeah, Nolan Kane has a lot of notoriety.
It's just heartbreaking, isn't it?
It's heartbreaking, yeah. I did a lot more research for this one, too.
Oh, whatever happened to that one guy that you were gonna debate?
I don't know. He left our chemistry class, or our physics class.
Oh.
Yeah, I know that you meant ICE, Mr. Nolan. Mr. Nolan, Nolan Johnson. But I don't, we already talked about that.
What close this? James Cline is also just not that smart.
Yeah, I was having to explain a lot of stuff. Ian, you should do a 2v2, you and Chase versus Nolan and Cline. What would even be the point of that?
Yeah, Big King's kind of stupid, and he's kind of an awful person, and I hate him.
Big King 7325. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Can we? No, I can't say that.
Were you gonna say the N-word?
Yeah, definitely.
You say that a lot.
No, I don't.
Alright, man. Whatever you say.
Please don't lie.
About what?
It's bad to lie. Anyways, man.
I don't think anybody's even watching anymore.
Big King is. There's 2 people watching. I think it's me and Big King.
Seriously? Alright,
The
yeah.
highest it went. Last time it went to like 11 people. The highest it went this time was 6, and it was for like a minute.
Man, what a disappointment, dude.
Must be the timings. I don't know.
Potentially, yeah. Last time it was
Also,
after school.
I don't think you did enough propaganda for this one.
No, I really didn't. Maybe we
Everybody
could,
knew about the Nolan Kane one.
maybe we could get a little bit of like post promotion to it, you know?
Yeah, get people to watch this back.
Watch the entire VOD, yeah, they'll definitely do that.
The entire hour and 30 minutes with all the
Yeah.
awkward silences and everything.
Yeah, they do that. They would do that.
Mr. B would do that.
He would do that because he's my boy.
Big King has gotten off the live. It's just me on the live now. Oh, nope, someone's back. Is that you, Big King?
Big King, are you there?
I think you should ban Big King from the chat.
Good idea. I'm banning Big King.
Thank you.
What can you do? Remove. Oh, put user in timeout. I'm gonna put him in a 24-hour timeout.
Yeah, make sure he never comes back.
Yeah, sorry, Big King, you're timed out.
Just deleted all of his messages.
Yeah, I did. He didn't even do anything wrong. He did nothing wrong.
He's an awful person. That's what he did wrong.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. Okay, let's get off the thing now. This is a waste of time.